Here we go.
Who's getting hacked up in Saudi Arabia, and why the fuck do I care?
We don't care.
So why is it all like people were talking. Amanda told me about it last night. I opened fucking Facebook last night. Fucking.
Are we talking about if we're talking about the news reporter, we don't care.
Is it a news reporter? I heard it's some UN guy, and everybody's up in arms because we give arms to Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia hacks. Motherfucker, we hack, motherfucker. You think Clinton wasn't killing people? Nobody gave a shit when Clinton killed. Go have a Clinton investigation. They killed more people than's been killed in that palace, probably.
Nobody gave a shit. Here's more important. Nobody gave a shit
Until
when Obama flew a drone into another country and killed a 15-year-old American citizen as an honor killing. He specifically killed that child as an honor killing.
Not just that kid. He killed everybody at the wedding standing around that kid.
So, but that's an American citizen that was offered no due process. Obama signed his death certificate, and they killed him for no other reason than to make a point.
Explain honor killing.
Basically, what you want to do is you when you're doing your honor killing, you want to kill somebody.
When you do your honor killing.
When you do your honor killing, but that's
this video, by the way, will fucking be demonetized by fucking YouTube because
we're doing honor killing. It's basically biblical. So it's all about the eye for an eye and having the ability to vanquish your seed. What most people don't understand is back in the old days when they killed you, when you let's say Scully did an uprising, Scully's uprising. They would not only if I lost, so as in Spartacus, I lose, they're going to kill me, but they are going to kill every person in my lineage. So they don't have to worry about somebody coming up 10 years later trying to honor their father. And so that was the point of this. There was in Yemen, there was an American citizen who was doing publicity. He was, all accounts, the dude was a real ISIS guy. He was doing publicity for ISIS in Yemen. He had a 15-year-old son that lived here in the United States who was, all accounts, just a regular American kid. We killed his father. The funeral was in, it was either in Yemen or Syria. I can't remember what it was. This is during Obama's administration. But anyways, we killed his father. So what do you think happened? His family, to include his 15-year-old son, flew overseas for his funeral. While his son and his friends, not a single one of them have been identified as a terrorist threat to the United States, belonging to or organizing within ISIS. We're sitting in a cafe in Yemen. Obama signed his death warrant. They flew a drone over. They killed him, and they killed every single person that was sitting with him. Solely as an honor killing. Solely to make sure that his son would not be a problem 10 years from now. Even though he had no affiliations whatsoever, and from all accounts, he was just a regular American.
Who brokered that deal?
Oh, I don't even know why he really did it, other than to make a point. I mean, that's the only reason why you do that. So, Obama has actually killed more U.S. citizens without due process than any other. Well, I don't want to say any other president. Lincoln killed a lot of U.S. citizens, but those that did not secede from the Union, Obama has killed more U.S. citizens than any other president without due process. Not counting the Indians, because they weren't U.S. citizens; they were tribes. But anyways, that was the honor killing that we did. Now, come full circle, and we're talking about this news reporter. This news reporter has had affiliations. He has had affiliations with the Yemen ISIS organizations. They actually have pictures of him with his AK out on the battlefield, which is where Saudi Arabia is currently fighting, and we are supporting that fight.
How about, have we forgotten the U.S. is cold? Did we forget where that happened in? I mean, and really, if that dude is a known fucking terrorist, if he has known terrorist ties, what the fuck does any U.S. citizen give a fuck if they killed him and hacked him up inside an embassy?
Yeah, that's the interesting part. The interesting part is this guy has been he's been talking shit about Syria. He is a news reporter. It puts out news about Saudi Arabia. I said Syria. Puts out bad news reports about Saudi Arabia, so he makes Saudi Arabia look bad in the current battle in Yemen. He went to the Saudi Arabian embassy. What is believed happened was he went to the Saudi Arabian embassy. A Saudi Arabian security force individual, which would be kind of like our CIA, went to the embassy, and it is believed that they tortured his ass trying to get information, and he died during being tortured. So
the same thing that would happen here in the United States.
Everybody was all the liberals are up in arms, and it's the reason why they were up in arms. The truth be told is because they don't have anything else. There's nothing else. They want to point a finger at President Trump and say, look, he's not doing anything about this, and blah blah. And they're getting Trump riled up, and Trump's like, okay, well, we'll do sanctions or something against Saudi Arabia. They're not going to do a goddamn thing about this. This dude is not important. It would be like tomorrow if I disappeared and somebody said, hey, he went into the FBI building and never came out. Yeah, it might make the news, but that would be the end of it. It's no different than all the people that Hillary Clinton had killed. Nobody cares about those people.
Continues to have killed.
Yeah, it's not that big a news. What you really should be asking liberals, and you really should be asking the media, is why aren't they covering anything that's going on in Yemen? Period. There's been a war going on in Yemen for the past, I want to say 6 or 7 years, that we have been providing lots of bombs for. Saudi Arabia is actually the country that is running the war that's going on in Yemen. We technically started it. The United States is the country that first started. Thank you, President Obama. President Obama was the first president to start using drones to kill people in Saudi Arabia. Let's not forget he blew
Saudi Arabia.
I mean, I'm sorry. I keep
in Yemen.
Yemen. It was President Obama who used the drones to kill the wedding party. It was President Obama who used the drone to kill that 15-year-old boy. It was President Obama. He did kill that guy's dad, but we created this insurgency in Yemen. There was nothing going on in Yemen until we started bombing there, and it was Obama who did all that. We have been over there for 8 years. We haven't been. The Saudis have been over there bombing and doing whatever they're doing for 8 years, and you don't see any news agencies covering that. Probably the reason why they're not covering it is because President Obama is the one who started that conflict.
And the media is that's their boy. And
we get to, and shit, we're making bombs that the Saudis are dropping. They're flying F-15 Eagles that we sold them to. It's very convoluted, but yeah, we shouldn't care about this news reporter who got killed I mean, they're killing news reporters all over the world right now.
They're killing them here in the United States.
So, who cares about? I mean, I know I sound cold and heartless because this dude had a family. Probably had a family. I don't know if he did. But here's the thing: there are too many people in this world, especially here in the United States, that believe that there are no consequences. That you can do whatever you want, and there are no consequences for your actions. We have kind of legislated it here in the United States to where you can act a fool and do some pretty heinous shit and not get punched in the mouth. We've kind of legislated that. But in the real world, that's not how it is. In the real world, you can still get punched in the mouth. You can still do things that are going to get you dragged into some foreign embassy and get your throat cut. That's just how it is. If you're a news reporter and you're hanging out with ISIS, and then you go to the American embassy, there is a good chance that a dude in Crocs is going to drag you into a container in Saudi Arabia and torture you until you tell him everything you know about where these fucking clowns are hanging out at. That's just the way it is. That's the real world. Here, I don't get it. I mean, people need to just start standing up against all this ignorance.
We just watched Sicario this weekend.
Yes.
We did. Did you watch it?
I watch it like every other day.
We watched part 2. We watched it Saturday. The kids
I don't like
Eli
part.
hasn't seen it either.
I like it, but I still like
There
one.
needs to be more of that.
I still like one better because there's a little more kind of There's a little more mystery involved in it. This one was kind of like, the cold-hearted killer is going to save this little girl and stay in power. It's a tricky game because as you see right now, what's going on in the country. The further you push the Democratic Party to the left, the more violent it's going to be, and the more extreme it's going to be. The problem with that is, the left really doesn't want the right to do the same thing. And the reason why is the right has the conviction, the training, and the weapons to destroy the left. If you want to, what's that TV show where all the girls are wearing red dresses?
I haven't seen it.
Handmaid's Tale.
The Handmaid's Tale. If you want to live in the Handmaid's Tale, if that's the life you want to live, then go ahead and keep poking the tiger, because the people with all the guns are not on the left. The people with all the guns are on the right. And right now, the people on the right are just kind of like letting it happen. You're going to get to a tipping point. You're going to get to a tipping point where it's not going to happen anymore. And when people say civil war and
Maybe little pockets.
Yes, it would be fucking terrible. And I'm telling you, anybody who's out there kind of right now in their basement loading magazines going, I can't wait for the Civil War to stop, you're a fucking idiot. You do not want a civil war in this country, because the amount of weapons and the amount of systems that we have in place, it will be horrific. It will be horrific, because it's not like, for an example, when we fought the first Civil War, there was delineating lines. It was southern states against northern states. There was delineating lines. People put on different colored uniforms. They marched out into an open field and they shot each other. This one won't be like that. This one will not be like that. You have Democrats and Republicans living everywhere together, even in fucking California. There's goddamn militias in California that would love nothing more than to run through the streets of San Diego and just start blasting people. That's what it's going to be like. You will be in your house and you will not know if your neighbor is going to come over and kill you the next day. It'll be more like the Balkan Wars, where everybody was killing everybody.
What's the movie where you have a 24-hour period where you can just go kill people? What is that?
Oh, The Purge.
That's what it'll be like.
It'll be worse than The Purge, because at least
the people coming after you, the agencies coming after you, they're just going to drone strike you. Like, they're going to know where you are, they're going to have intel, and you're not going to see it coming.
Yeah, it's just...
You want to read a good book? Read Enemies Foreign and Domestic, the third one, the yellow one. Read that book. That takes place in West Tennessee, and that's exactly how that is.
Yeah, you don't want to... I mean...
Matthew Bracken.
The problem with a lot of far left fantasies, like even when you got Rosie O'Donnell, you got Hillary Clinton, all these people talking about the military needs to wake up and take over Trump. All right. First off, you don't understand.
Likes Trump.
You don't understand how many. But it's not just Trump. Forget about Trump. It's the Constitution of the United States of America. You do not realize how many of the shooters, the real shooters, are red meat eating Americans
carrying a Constitution
that are not going to do that. As a matter of fact, they're going to do the opposite because they know that you're wrong. So it won't be like you think. It's not going to be Tennessee decides it's going to secede from the Union and they're just going to send the National Guard down here from Illinois and square it away. It will not be like that. It will be horrific. And then, let's not even forget about the fact that once that happens and this country is on fire,
China.
There's 100 countries out there right now that are vying to be the dominant country in the world. and they will have no problem coming over here and stomping your guts out because
and it all comes in
you
threes.
ruined everything.
That's when a pandemic. You'll have pandemic. Water will cease. It's always threes. The collapse always comes from threes, and it's always simple shit. Earthquake. It'll come.
So yeah, I'm. Believe me, I have more than one gun and more than one bullet, and I do not even relish the idea of some sort of civil war breaking out and it going being anything but the most terrible thing that you've ever. It would be. Here's the thing that most people don't understand. It would be the worst thing, not that America has ever seen. If a civil war breaks out in the United States, it will be the worst thing that the world has ever seen. Outside of, I bet it'd be worse than World War II. And as far as all the places that will catch on fire, because what people don't understand is the United States economy, the United States dollar backs everything in the world. It's the reason why when our economy tanked, the rest of the world economy tanked. That unrest will spread. If the United States tanks, that unrest will spread around the world like a fire that you won't even believe.
Plus, during Civil War, everybody that thinks they're going to run to the streets or run to the hills, where are you going to put your mom? Like, where are you going to stash your fucking kids while that's going on? You guys better think about that. You don't have some hidden fucking tunnel bomb shelter with a bunch of food pushed away.
Unless you're Tom Cruise. And I know where it is, Tom.
But
I know where
Tom's
it is.
a spaceship. He's actually a Mormon, and when the Mormons when their temples take off, they're refueling right
Those meat eaters that you hired, Tom, to guard your last hiding place. I know them.
We know one of them.
So
We saw pictures of you inside your fucking place.
So we'll be, hey Tom, when you hear, I'm gonna do 2 knocks and then 1, and then that you just open up, bro.
All right. That's
the Abrams coming in.
Yeah, because there's gonna be an M1 Abrams that I have purchased from the Mahdi Army, and I can't even imagine. The hardest part about buying M1 Abrams from the Mahdi Army is those tanks are gonna smell so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Right, it's just gonna be so bad. But it'll be worth it once I get the contract to refurbish them.
Yeah, the government's going to pay to get
The
them
government's
done.
gonna pay to get them all redone.
It's cool.
I just want to be there when they roll the first one. I just want to be there when they roll the first tank into the depot, where all the civilian contractors are that have to refurbish it, and they crack the hatch on that thing.
The smell.
Just the smell that's going to come out of there, and the pure hate and discontent they're going to have because the Mahdi militia has been taking poops inside the tank.
That's where you poop.
All right. Good talk.